Yeah.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. Forgive us, or rather me, for being a little bit late. We've gone up a little bit late. There is so much news, so I've been gathering it. Oh, head is spinning. So,
yeah.
Before I begin everything, of course. Well, actually,
now I don't know what happened.
Over to
this
the
is
side.
going to screw with our heads today.
It's going to mess with our heads.
Can you move us? Can you move us?
I can't. It's done now, ladies. Oh, actually,
okay.
You know, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How could I? Can I do it? Well, let me just click on this button here and see what happens. Oh dear. Oh no. That wasn't Now, I think we're just going to have to stick with it. So Lady G is down under and Lena is over here to the west. So, of course, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And before we begin, please don't forget as well to like and subscribe and support the channel. It really helps the algorithm and help the channel grow. And of course, the link to the ladies' channel is in the video description as well. So you can, of course, like and subscribe to them. And I'm going to put something in the, was I going to put something in the link later? Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, lots of news. We've literally just leapt on. The ladies really do not even know what I'm going to, we've not even had our usual.
We came on 3 seconds ago, briefing. Really, we did.
So we're just going to, exactly. We're just going to throw you in. But one thing I want to quickly announce at the top of the show before I forget, the nodes of the moon are changing on November 29th in 3 days.
My birthday.
That means
they're doing all this astrological stuff for my birthday. I mean, I'm really impressed.
Right, indeed. So happy birthday in advance, because we're probably gonna you're gonna have your birthday between HoGaLe's, aren't you? So happy birthday, Lena.
Thank you so much.
And so as a birthday present for you, you're going to get the change of the you're going to get the nodes of the moon changing. So be careful what you wish for. That means the fate and destiny of planet Earth is about to shift again for the next 18 months. We're already seeing the energy, but on the 29th, it will become official. Then we're going to have 18 months of Rahu in sidereal Pisces and Ketu in sidereal Virgo. So lots of stuff to do with water, health and healing, all of those kind of things. And that's going to be relevant as well to some of the questions that come later. What else? Saturn is obviously direct. Oh, and if anything, with ads and stuff, remember I do the clear up afterwards. So if you see a few ads, bear with it when you're getting this, and they'll be cleared once I've had some sleep. Shall we begin?
Yes.
All right, let's start.
Apparently, someone said you can just drag your picture. If you click on your picture, you can just drag them. I don't know if you want to try that.
Oh, let's have a look. Let's try that. Because here it just says remove, Lena. So I want to be careful.
Oh, no, we won't go there.
Yeah. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Look, the hand thingy bob. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh. Whew. Now I
order is restored. All right, let's begin. I think one of the first places we've got a lot of questions tonight that we need to begin with is, of course, Ireland.
Yes,
Dublin.
the old country.
Yeah. Indeed. So very, very interesting. And I want to know your thoughts on certain things. So we've had 2 questions come in, and then one of them sort of blended with mine as well. So some of the strap lines have been Dublin riots. What's it called? Someone's saying immigration tensions bubbling under the surface. After there was a stabbing, I think, of 3 children and a woman. And it says, and then the writings were looting, the tram was burnt, vandalism and fires. And what I've also put here as well as a little note, I wrote this earlier in the week, likely maybe simmering tensions that are reflected in Holland as well, because we've got a Holland question in there. So two people ask different questions, and then we might have to stretch this out, but see what you think. So Just In asks, will the far right gain traction in Ireland? Then Lucy Claire asks, what's the future for the riots happening in Ireland? And my question is has neoliberalism and globalization failed? Ooh. So
wow. Yes.
I think we need to do it in two parts. So shall we whilst maybe do a normal poll for the first two questions, like what's going on with the far right, will they take hold, and the result of the and the riots, and then maybe the neoliberalism question could be a one card pull. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sure. I think the neoliberalism question is huge, but we often get good results from the one card.
Yeah, we can get a good result. So let's pull then, which is a combination of what will the far right gain traction in Ireland, and what are the consequences of the riot happening? I think that can be covered.
Okay, basically Ireland in the first.
Yeah, Ireland, exactly.
Where's Ireland going? Where's Ireland going?
And hello to everyone joining us in the chat as well.
Thank you so
your
much for patience.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Oh. Ireland, riots. All right.
I can go if you want, Hoax.
Go for it, Lena.
Well, there's some yucky cards to start, and then they improve at the end. So let's start with the yucky cards. I think the Celtic tiger is dead, in the sense that Ireland did a very good job of pulling itself out of poverty in the 80s and 90s and the dot-com boom, and it really worked all that well. And I think, got some global recognition for that. But it's the end of that cycle now with this 10. I think there's a political problem in the sense of where to from here. So leadership is struggling with what they can get away with as opposed to actually leading. If Irish viewers can let me know, who is this King of Wands? Because this is sort of a forceful, masculine type figure. But with wands, it usually means someone has a brain and a heart and is capable of compromise and some of that. But if they're not very evolved, it can be a Fred Flintstone-like energy. So who is this, please? Let me know. Over the top, I think my new word of the month is it's going to get worse before it gets worse. I think this is what's happening in a lot of places, and Ireland's not an exception to this. But then comes forward some woman speaker who's totally inspiring, I think much younger, who can actually bring people together again, because all these tensions, this is what's led to the riots and everything else. It's economic tensions, and with immigration, it's not about immigration at all. It's about race. Because when white people immigrate to white countries, no one notices or cares. Okay, so it's about race yet again. But this woman will pull people together. My vibe is this is a bit in the future, maybe 2 years away. And I think peace will be restored in the bigger picture, which in turn leads to better economic outcomes. But at the moment, the through line is not good. So it's not being addressed well, is what I'm trying to say. Tensions are not being addressed well or cleverly or satisfactorily.
Fascinating. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all that's driving it is an abuse, abusive mentality that's going on. Because in the center, we have it's a very strong happening with people not liking what's coming. It's affecting their life. Going into it in the past, we've had a lot of manipulations. And so now this is moving forward rapidly. Above it, people again are having the nightmare scenario with all this stuff up in the air that they're dealing with. The challenge is the new action, and the outcome is the new message about new actions. But again, above it, we have the toxic element. That's not listening. Okay. So they need to move it, but the powers that be are not hearing any of it. So it's, that drama versus the people, the two sides, one against the other.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to click up quickly on a comment here before I pull my cards. So let's see if this is going to happen quickly. Come on, computer. There we go. Yeah. So Vivian says, I'm from Dublin. These protests are purely about hate and destruction. My heart is broken. Bless.
No. This far right stuff. Young men in particular are complete patsies. They just soak it up.
Yeah. And they're not listening. They're not willing to hear anything. They just have that toxicity that they just keep putting out there. And
fascinating. What I want to say here as well, thank you, Lucky McLucky. That is so kind of you. And Foggy as well. Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to read my cards because this is, we're going to see there's a theme as we go through the questions. A theme emerges. Okay, so with the cards that I have, I think this is here. I've got the Queen of Swords. So quite interesting that, isn't it? Of course, this can also be a female voice as well, but this can also be the voice of logic and reason and stuff like that. Swords are all about air, the element of air, and the element of air is all about communication. So I think there needs to be a proper communication and debate and review and assessment of everything, because this really did come as a surprise for a lot of people, because normally when I think of Ireland, I don't normally, or particularly Dublin, I don't normally think of riots and stuff. I have romanticized ideas about ceilidhs and people playing fiddles in bars and stuff like that, which is probably well and truly outdated, but I need to go to Ireland a bit more. So forgive me if that's a cliche, but obviously this is a bit of a wake-up call. So look, this is a time for cool heads, rational debate, and a national conversation. I would say there needs to be a national conversation. As you know, in the 5-card spread, the second card can be the obstacle position, and this is interesting because it's the Star, which is normally a universally good card. This talks about rebirth, regeneration, and the universe has got your back, but we can also interpret it as upside down. So sometimes that can deal with a sense of abandonment, like the universe doesn't have your back and that you're all out at sea. So I suspect that this maybe needs to be part of the conversation, maybe part of what the riots are about. There maybe there's some people that may be feeling ostracized or abandoned, or someone maybe not being able to get their voice through. Do you know what I mean? Because that does build, can build a lot of tension as well. In the middle card, we see here, a loss. Yeah, obviously there's sadness about what's happened. Obviously the attack, and then of course the riot itself. But if we see here, we've got 2 cards standing up. So there is still something that can be salvaged here. It's sad, but maybe this can go on to some kind of catharsis. I would hope healing. However, the energies are still hot and rampant. Yeah, we have the Knight of Wands. we know wands are about passion, instigation. This can also talk as well about young male energy as well. So I don't think this is gonna dispel many things. There could be potentially more conflicts coming forward. I think it depends how the discussion goes, particularly as the outcome card here is the 7 of Wands. So people might be entrenched and they maybe want to fight to defend their positions on whichever side of the argument that they find themselves. So I think the tensions are going to persist till now, until there's a national conversation in Ireland. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Well, just neoliberalism. I truly blame neoliberalism, which is privatize everything, small government, send all the working class jobs offshore. We are reaping in every country. We keep seeing this pattern, and people don't get it, you know?
Yeah, all over the world. And you'll see as the questions go through, so many of the questions are asking about tensions emerging in so many countries at once. Remember that Pluto in Capricorn, folks. Also as well, Saturn is in Aquarius. Aquarius does deal a lot with rebellion, riots, and people wanting to fight for their rights. So let's do a 1-card pull and see what 3 cards can tell us about neoliberalism. Yeah? It can be done.
Okay. So just if you're not used to that term, when Thatcher came in the UK, Reagan came in the US, their economic model was the neocon, which is, why should the government pay for anything? Stand up on your own 2 feet and people can pay for water and transport and absolutely everything. And they got rid of the jobs that used to keep young men occupied.
Decimated the jobs.
And those sort of jobs, working class jobs, gave those men identity. And I think that's a really important point. You know, men were proud of difficult working class jobs. It gave them identity. Now they haven't got it. So what are they going to do with that energy?
True. Yeah. Okay. After 3. So we're putting on neoliberalism, guys. You know, no small question for 3 cards, but let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. If I went through 40 tarot decks, I'd probably choose these 3 cards to represent this story.
So actually, I'm going to ask, so Lady G, what do you think of your card? And then Lena, and then
you know, this is just their mentality, what they're going with, and that's what they keep putting out, that same mentality of drama, and it's not getting us anywhere.
Pitting people against each other, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much, with that sharpness. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I think it's the volcano that's going to blow everywhere, although the majority of people aren't going to call it, oh, we're doing this because of 40 years of neoliberalism. They're doing it because they say they feel left behind. But I think this is the beginning of a much bigger explosion. We can only expect to see more, because it's resentment. All this resentment is building up.
Yeah, I agree. And look at my card. I get the moon. Yeah, I get the moon. So the way I interpret that is that those that are the architects of the fallout of neoliberalism are still trying to fool everyone. They're still trying to say, oh, squirrel, it's not this, it's not that. But like with the volcano and the sword of truth, it's almost like the sword of truth, the fire bursting forth moment has come, almost like how Iceland is teetering on the edge of this quivering explosion. And it's like the magma is boiling, and we're starting to get the sulfurous gases and stuff coming up, because this is happening all over the world. And I think what's happening is that the architects of this are trying to pretend that they are not responsible for this. However, the lobster is coming out of the water. And somehow always the challenge as well with the moon card is walking between the two pillars of truth. Can we get there? But it's like people are starting to lose their mind. People are starting to literally howl at the moon.
Yes.
And it seems to be, have we noticed, all around the world, it's like this bubbling, festering inferno that is very much like a volcano. So isn't that interesting?
It looks totally the imagery, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes there's one card.
Big thanks to Sandy McPartin here. $50. That's so generous. Thank you so much.
Astonishing. And thank you as well, Edie as well. I clicked up while you were talking, Lena. So
thank you.
Clicked it off again. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
We're cheap dates really in the big picture, giving up our Saturday nights and Sunday mornings.
I know, don't remind me, Lena, don't remind me. Remember, the show goes up at midnight for me, so very often I have to curtail, if I do have any entertainments, I have to curtail them and quickly run back for the show.
Oh, darling, you're young, you can go out after.
Well, not so much in London anymore. It's kind of become a bit more sedate these days, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You are all worth it, and everyone here is worth it. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah. Right, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, and one thing I want to add as well, what is interesting, I don't know if you know this. Now, you know, we have a Conservative government in the UK. Guess what? Jacob Rees-Mogg, the very
I've always
posh,
loved that name.
Do you know what? He actually apologized, apparently, to the Conservative voters for immigration being too high. Interesting. Interesting. Like, what's that all about? I just thought I'd mention that. I'm like, something going on there. Something going on there. Anyway, let's move on to question number 2. And I think we're going to America. Oh, no. We're going to China and then we're going to America. And we're going to hop, skip and jump a bit.
All right.
So you remember I said the nodes of the moon, K2 is about to move into sidereal Virgo. What's Virgo all about? It's all about health and healing and overcoming obstacles. It deals with health. Now, bear that in mind. Remember, and that it moves on the 29th of November, 3 days from now. Here's the question. So Ella Zoe has asked, hi, Hogarth and ladies, can you read on a new mystery pneumonia that has been reported on in China, allegedly, apparently is affecting children especially? Is this another potential pandemic in the making?
No. And in the comments, Wheezy says, in China, people are supposed to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, and wages are being cut. So young people don't want jobs or marriage or kids. They're just withdrawing. You know, there's that phenomenon called lying flat in Asia now because their parents were so driven to work so hard. Ugh. So China and this new flu.
People are just, I think people are just exhausted by what the neoliberalism failure has done, because it's like everyone is working much harder for much less money
than they ever worked. Yes.
Than they ever worked before. And now it's not the case of like where you're just competing with other people in your own country. You're now actually competing with outsourced manufacturing, cheaper goods, and they just move to the next cheapest place and stuff like that. And people
then they
just
buy you off with your cheap T-shirt and your cheap sandals on Amazon, and people have got seduced by cheap, crappy goods. You know.
Yeah. Oh. China pneumonia. I'm a little worried, I must say, with K2 going into Virgo in 3 days.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, I'm not liking these either.
Who's ready to go?
Well, I am here. I think it's going to move extremely quickly. Now, this Four of Wands, normally the wedding card, etc., etc., but I think it's a different slant on that four, which is it's going to rampage within homes. The Four of Wands is about real estate and your home, and so it's going to spread rapidly within families. And then beyond, here's the World card, which you don't want to see if you're asking about a maybe pandemic. You really don't want to see the World card. And are people awake to this? Are people prepared? That'd be no. You know, oh, sorry, guys, the cards speak. What did you guys get?
Crikey. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, it's going to be a lot of heartbreak with some people, nightmare scenarios, judgment, and this is the card of what? A lot of deaths, etc. And the same thing at the center of it, they're trying to hold on to it, hold on to power, hold on to what they're doing. They're going to put out a bunch of drama, but they're trying to keep the lid on it. They don't want to get out how bad it is. And again, going into it, it's hitting families. We have the waterworks again. It's spread by sneezing, etc. And this is going to be here. It's not moving through quickly. It's going to take its time. You know, it's going to be around for a while. The challenge is, you know, that it's going to hit quite a number of people. And we have to wait for the timing. They're investigating it, but they don't want to talk about it and put out too much at this time. They don't want to panic people, I think, is what it is. But yeah, it's going to hit spread in families and this as well. I get the same thing.
Oh, well, you know, China and transparency are not normally two words that appear together. So we've got to take things with a pinch of salt, I think. Let's see what happens. All right, so the cards that I've got. Okay, so I have a feeling this may have been a bit of an ongoing concern for a while, yeah, because look, we've got the Seven of Pentacles here, which talks about what the harvest, yeah, the harvest. Sometimes not being pleased with the particular harvest, but this is the card of contemplation as well, and pondering something that may be emerging or growing. So maybe this could have been a bit of a concern for a while, and we're only just hearing about it now, yeah, because, you know, transparency is not always the clearest thing, unfortunately. When I look in what is turning up in the obstacle position here, I've got the Empress. Now, this is really interesting because the person was asking about this particularly affecting children, but the Empress card is associated with family and children because she's normally depicted as being pregnant.
Pregnancies too, maybe.
Yeah, there could be things. So here, this can, you know, this might affect many stages of family planning, etc., and stuff like that. Hopefully, it won't affect pregnant women too much. But if we look at it as being reversed, sometimes the Empress card is genuinely about fecundity, fertility, and abundance. And I think this could also be talking about the Chinese economy here, because when she's reversed, the Empress is associated with barrenness, things being barren. And I think this is also talking about what Lena was talking about, which was the whole laying down thing. There are a lot of people in China opting out of the economy. Imagine people's health as well. Their mental health will also affect their immune system and diet. And I saw something earlier today, which I found astonishing, which is some people basically fishing in the gutters of China for oil, and they recycle it and refly it again. I mean, it's just astonishing. Anyway, if we look here, look at this. The World is in this card. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if I like that. So this is what the pondering, seeing what's going to happen. Will this go global? Maybe this is the authorities thinking, could this slip out? Yeah. And of course, this is also as well looking to see if the ship will come in, etc. But really, this is quite an international card as well. We can see the World there. Could it go to the wider world? We have to see. I get the 10 of Cups as well. So families, yeah, being affected by this. Look at that, you know, pretty straightforward. And my card, I get a fast card as well, like Lena. Look, I get the Sword, Knight of Swords, which is pacey, quick. It's actually what I consider one of the fastest cards in the deck, along with the 8 of Wands and the Chariot. So I think, yeah, it could spread further, guys.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to spread rapidly, but it's going to hang around because mine was the one that's, you know, going to be there. Didn't we all get the family card? I think all three of us got
version of it. Yes,
I think we did. Yeah. Did you get the family?
Yeah, all of us got the same card.
Yeah, and I got the 4 of Wands, which was the wedding, establishing the family. Lala, you've frozen, Hogarth.
USA.
Hello, Hoagie, you froze.
And
Hogarth.
we're going to the USA. Yeah, just a little glitch here.
Yeah, while it's glitching.
So we're going to the USA, and we're going to be looking at what I call the MAGA sphere. Yeah,
the MAGA sphere,
or the Magatonians and stuff like that. I know we're having a funny moment here. I don't know what's.
Yeah, you're glitching.
Is it okay now?
Sort of.
No, you're frozen again.
Keeps happening.
Yep.
Are we good?
I hope so. If we could just double back to Ireland for a moment, because the Irish viewers have kicked in. I got that King of Wands saying a strong man who also had a heart. Well, Leo Varadkar, who's the Prime Minister, is gay with very strong masculine energy. That is so him. And the head woman of Sinn Féin is very strong. So I got her as well. So I think they'll settle it down. I think they're quite powerful personalities. So let's hope.
I think I missed something. Can you guys hear me? My sound.
Well, you come and go.
Oh,
your microphone comes and goes.
I'm having weird stuff happen, folks. Sorry. I heard you mention Leo Varadkar
and the woman who's the head of Sinn Féin.
So we're talking about Ireland, but
no, we can't hear you, Hogarth. Gone.
Yeah, we're froze.
Oh dear, oh dear. Hogarth, can you hear us? No. Oh dear. So, can you go to your phone? Like leave us on screen and go to your phone?
We lost him. I just saw my eye is totally. Look at that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, we'll make do. We could do another one-off question ourselves. Have you got anything in mind, Lady G?
No, at this present time, I can't think. I've had a couple of really rough days. I haven't slept for a couple of days, so I'm just not with the program at the moment.
Well, okay, so we'll ask the audience here. The first question that comes up, providing it's reasonable, we'll give it a go while we're waiting for Hogarth. So throw us a question, guys. No, not Ted Cruz. I don't know if he uses a VPN. I'm sorry. Okay, anyone got any pressing questions about the world? No. No. Throw us a question, guys. Okay, that's a good question. Back to Ukraine and Kiev, in particular, has been bombed today. So, Lady G, will you and I just have a quick look at the trajectory of this? A one-card pull.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hoagie, we're just going to do, Lady G and I, one-card pull on Ukraine, Russia while...
Go for it. Sorry, folks. Technical issues. Don't know what's going on. All right, one card pull on Ukraine.
Yeah, let's go for it. Trajectory of this war.
Trajectory of the war. Okay. Ready? After three. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I'm using the very arty Japaridze deck here. And I love this image. It's someone, you know, the old saying about Nero playing while Rome burned. It's got that energy about it. It's like, to me, this is Russia not admitting they can't take it much further. I think Ukraine can't take it much further. My vibe, I've been saying to people during the week and listening to people, and they're sort of at a standstill, but no one knows what to do, right? So it's like this displacement because NATO doesn't know what to do. No one knows what to do.
Wow. Yeah. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I get that, you know, there's still just trying to stay in control and hold on to the energy and move it forward as best as they can. I think from both sides are trying to hold on. Okay.
Yeah. We're showing that passion, that stuff. I thought my card was reversed and I realized in the kerfuffle that my deck was upside down. So I get the Justice card. I mean, I think, you know what? I think this might literally end up in the courts, either in The Hague or whatever. Yeah. The war might be ended by some kind of legal decree, because I think there might be an extended stalemate of some kind.
Yes.
Where both sides just become utterly exhausted, and then someone has to come in, or maybe there's a change where maybe, you know, Putin exits stage left, and you know, and there's some graceful or attempted grace at trying to extricate themselves may happen. But to me, this is looking like high courts here. It could be some high court action.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, it's just dragging on now, isn't it? Wow. Apologies, folks, for my technical difficulties. Live TV, you know how it is. Right. Are we ready for the next question?
Sure, let's rip.
So this is coming from Barb Bedford, which I was trying to say earlier, then it all cut out. So she says, before 45 was elected, I predicted that because there was a moral void in US culture, a savior, good or bad, would appear. He did, I think she means by Trump, by claiming, I am the only one that can save you. Saviors like him still fill the void. In the Aquarian age, can we expect a swing to individual empowerment over self-appointed saviors? Oh,
epic question.
Epic.
Well, that's a good point. Darren in the comments says, I just wish the three major religions would find some common ground. St. Michael, the archangel, is recognized by all three.
Oh.
So maybe we could start with Archangel Michael. So what's happening?
So the question is, in the Aquarian age, can we expect a swing to individual empowerment over self-appointed saviors?
Oh, wow.
Great question.
Yeah.
Who's ready to go first?
Oh, I can't wait to share this with everybody.
Go for it, Lena.
I was just sort of hoping for the best. But this is sort of, these cards are so important and big. It's like it's leapt beyond us as a mortal question. It's where we need to go as a species. It's big.
Wow.
Okay, so it starts with temperance. I just mentioned Archangel Gabriel, and here comes temperance, the angel wings, which is learning to understand each other, work with each other, respect, but also an understanding. Note the feet for those of you learning tarot, 1 foot in the water, 1 on land. So we need to get a balance to move forward where we have a foot on land looking after our material needs of having to eat and have shelter, with our spiritual and creative and much deeper needs. We need to balance those things in our life. We, the species, need to start some hardcore reflection instead of always getting our information and our stimulation and things that make us angry or even happy somewhere else. We've got to learn to look inward. This won't come overnight, but is in the pipeline. We desperately need this new perspective represented here, desperately, for the Aquarian age. And then to realize we are our own kings and queens. That's what I take this King of Pentacles to mean. You know, instead of looking for this person who's magically born to a higher station than you or a savior of some sort, we need to each be that in our own lives, in our own homes and our own communities. We need this complex mesh of understanding and then carrying forward with it, actioning that. That's what I got.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, people have been feeling they've had a tough time of things, you know, this just moving and what's going on with them. They've been wanting to move forward, but, you know, things have been a bit stuck. But now things are starting to move. And the challenge is I'm looking forward mentally to get to a better space, but eventually they will reach to a better space, self-reflection, and be able to hold on to their own energy and be able to make their own choices in a wiser way.
Yeah. Seems to be quite a theme of self-empowerment, doesn't it? I've got, my cards have come out a bit more emotional, so I'm just going to read what I've got here. So, 3 of Swords, I think this is describing the situation now. Oh my God. Aren't we all tired and exhausted with all the BS, the shenanigans, global governments doing this, that, and the other? You know, we see this march of kind of fascism, and then also as well things to do with religious hatred and conflict. All this kind of sort of stuff going on. So I think this is describing really how we're feeling now. 3 of Swords, tired of it all. In the obstacle position, we actually get the Queen of Swords, which is about, you know, rationality, clearness of mind and thought. I think really there is an element of spite and cruelty, because if the card is reversed, that can certainly be there. Look how vindictive the language, the ideas have become, the chatbots, the way that even so much of the media ecosystem now is sharp and based around antagonism and just telling the worst news possible all the time, because the reversed Queen of Swords can be a spiteful queen.
Yeah.
If we look here though as well, there's this element here of speed, rushing. I think we just feel like at the moment we're on the helter-skelter of life. Everything seems to be coming from all directions. Like I said, that theme title, film title, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
It's like we're all in this kind of cauldron, and I'm thinking of that volcano card as well that you got, Lena. I just feel like that encapsulates so much of the energy on Earth right now. Volatile, you know, things seeming to rush forward too much. When we look in terms of the personal choices that people have to make for empowerment, people aren't liking the options. I think the reality is a lot of people, it's like they're waiting for something to come out of the sky, but also as well, it's like they're not prepared to take some of those higher thoughts as well, because here in the Four of Cups, the person is potentially rejecting this offer. That is something maybe they've not thought of because they're focusing too much on these cups down here. So I think we need to kind of transcend a lot of the sticky, gloopy repetition in terms of the news. Have you noticed? I mean, I'm exhausted with Trump. I don't know if anyone else is, but genuinely, I'm like, I know we have to talk about him, but it's become exhausting. I feel like we've been on the same news for 7 years. Anyway, you know, it really does. But look, the outcome card, this is the strength card. So this, I think, is about people finding their moral fiber, but within, not projecting strength onto these strong men, or strong women, I think this is much more about finding the internal strength within to lead ourselves individually, but as a wider collective to those higher levels. That's my bit.
Yes. It's not like individualism in the materialist sense, the capitalist sense. This is mine and you can't have it. No. It means being responsible and creative to make everything you go near and touch a little bit better, you know.
Indeed. Okay, are we ready for the next question?
Almost. Kathleen O'Malley says, become the change agent for the changes you want in your life. Thank you, Kathleen.
Absolutely. And someone else is saying here, I've just tapped on it, Saturnian itch says, I'm so exhausted. Yeah, it's just the fact that Duck Larange is still running around, running his lips. Just lock the guy up. It's just ridiculous. All of this privilege he's being given, it's a joke. Anyway, I don't want to have a rant. So let's go to Holland. Yeah, we need to talk about Holland. Yeah, and at some point we've got to squeeze in a Javier Melei as well and see what Shakespeare thinks. Anyway, so as you guys know, in Holland, things have moved to the right there. What I also as well, look at his hair. What is it with people on the right and strange hair? He reminds me of what is it called? You know, from the Addams Family, the guy that's the vampire. Is he the cousin? I can't remember. And do you remember the black and white version? And he has this coiffed sort of Liberace hair. Anyway.
Oh yeah, Liberace hair. That's good.
Yeah. So this is coming from Soul Spark. Hi, Hogarth and ladies. Can you please read on the far-right politician Geert Wilders, who won the elections in the Netherlands? I'm Dutch, and I'm gutted that his Freedom Party won. Thank you. So let's just see what's going on with Mr. Wilders.
Yeah. And don't they always call themselves the Freedom Party when they mean the Lock 'em Up Party? You know.
Pretty much. And it works every time, of course. It works every time. Geert Wilders. The world. And at the end play, after I've finished with the show, I'm going to put my Saturn video up again. And that prediction really is coming true. All of these rules, regulations, changes, conservatism, or far right. Who's ready to go?
Well, I am, and And I have to say, I'm sorry because these cards aren't fun.
Right. What do you have?
So I think there's two forms of energy driving this, which takes us back to everything we've talked about today, which is the trickle-down economics that don't reach the ground, which are things like resentment of immigrants in large numbers just being plonked without being properly integrated, etc., etc. So these two things. Can you see this card, the Japarizi? This is the Five of Pentacles. So on the one hand, people are feeling out in the cold from their own political structure, and it's been put in terms of the culture wars. Okay, here's the gladiators. So instead of people identifying where this is coming from, it's easier to go down the culture war route. He just had to saddle up for that and go, look, it's because of them, and because of them, it's because of liberals and so on. So it's the same core issues. People were very confused. I think some Dutch are confused in the sense of not wanting to have to necessarily vote for the right because they haven't before. And others are confused. I've been voting right forever and now's the time, but what does it mean? I think there was a lot of confusion and misinformation with the campaign. At the moment, this is the walking away card, and I think walking away from a progressive democratic Netherlands that we all admired for so long, it's walking away from that. But it's not all doom and gloom. This card is pretty gloomy, but it's not all, it's like everywhere. Good people have to find the energy, look after yourselves, find the energy, and not let this completely rule the next 10 years. It's an unfinished work, a work in progress, and go back to looking for art, beauty, and creative solutions. What happens in economically depressed times? People push aside the arts. That's when you need them. And the arts flourished in the Weimar Republic and in all repressive regimes. I think this is a meaningful card here, the artist. So that's my cards. Not fun, but it's a work in progress.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, mine's really not fun. We have, again, the, Repugly Ugly, the uber right drama that continue to put swords in the back of people, just causing this problem. So at the center of it, we've got what's being held to, what they've got in their lap is, again, these sleepless nights and these messages of actions that continue to come out. Going into it in the past, people have felt stressed, pushed to the edge. And then we have, of course, now the narcissistic personality. Above it, they want to go forward and get out of this because they are feeling losses in their lives. The challenge is, again, they continue to put out this rhetoric that's just wailing people. And but the outcome is wanting to move this forward because it's an emotional issue of drama, and people just feel really mentally tied up and want to get out of this and get moving into something better.
Wow, interesting. All right, so the cards that I've got, which is about Geert Wilders, and and maybe the mood of Holland as well that I'm getting here. So I get the Four of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles, of course, also deal with values as well, and I think this is talking about more conservative values, maybe being more prevalent in Holland than maybe more than people realize. From what I understand, a little research I've been able to do is that in the more kind of rural parts of Holland, they've been more conservative, but in the more liberal cities, the votes for him were far less. But I think this is talking about a general move in energetically for the Dutch, feeling they because this is a card about resources or fearing losing one's resources and stuff like that. So maybe in the collective, there's a sense of pulling back, or maybe they're feeling that their resources in some way are under threat. Yeah, I'm just reading the card. In the obstacle position, we've got the Ace of Wands, and this is often a yes card and a fertile new beginnings and stuff like that, but we can see it as reversed. So in a way, what this is kind of describing, I think there's a sense maybe in Holland that something's backfired, something's gone wrong, things maybe not moving in the right direction for a significant part of the population. Obviously enough for them to vote for him. And even Geert said he was surprised at how much of the vote he got. Yeah. So something's reversed in terms of, because we can look at this card as progressiveness. And, you know, of course, the Dutch, you know, Holland is famous for having these quite liberal values, but maybe they're not so liberal anymore. When we look as to reasons why, look, this Six of Cups comes up, which is about what? Family, nostalgia. I think there is a sense of, you know, like, remember we got all those cards dealing with speed, moving forward. I think people are feeling in some ways that the world is moving too quickly, quicker than they can adapt, perhaps, because look, this is the card of nostalgia, looking fondly on one's childhood. And I think that is often very much the energy that these more conservative, far right kind of, they put forward a more kind of utopian time, don't they? Like, make America great again. You can have things as they were before. This is the card of nostalgia. Just reading the cards. When we look here, we've got the Three of Wands, and this in this card here, that it does depict the ship coming in, but this is also talking about entrepreneurship. This is also talking about passion, making plans and stuff like that. So it's almost like, I think the economic incentives are kind of a bit at odds with what the people may want in their hearts. For me, I'm seeing this as the kind of the neoliberalism again, the export everything out, and it's the way it discombobulates movement around the world. And then for my outcome card, I get the Three of Pentacles. So this is talking about collaboration, wanting to work together. But this, I think as well, I have a feeling that many of the more right-leaning political parties around the world are kind of almost coordinating in a way. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but that's the sense I'm getting.
No, that's a known thing. The Steve Bannons, Nigel Farages, they've got a playbook and they lend it to each other. We're not dreaming it up as lefty fairies or anything.
Yeah.
It's very successful.
Yeah, because this is the card. The Three of Pentacles is the card of collaboration. Because I've noticed that when, like, where you see where the tweets come from or congratulations come from, like with Melei, etc., and stuff like that, you know, he got endorsements from Trump, which could be the kiss of death, you know, everything Trump touches. But there's this kind of international support. Do you see what I mean? And I'm just
absolutely.
With the Three of Pentacles there.
And the guy in Hungary, they all quote, and, you know, they're a cabal now.
Wow. Okay. Wow, the time has gone so quick. So let's see, what can we finish off with?
We have to have Shakespeare.
Okay, what do you want to do, ladies? Do you want to do a Javier Melei, or do you want to look at the American justice system for the time we got left?
What do you want, Lady G?
I didn't hear the first one.
You want to look at Javier Melei, the new cray-cray leader, well, seemingly cray-cray leader of Argentina, or do you want to do one on the American justice system?
Oh, I don't care. I know nothing about the one in Argentina.
That's
good. I like the cold reads with Lady G.
Right? All right, then let's
do one card.
Let's do a one card pull for Argentina. So this is the question that's come in. And this has come with affairs with flair. This is the question.
Okay.
Can you read on Argentina's new president, Melei, please? Will he and who he chooses to run the government be able to actually turn the economy around, which is so badly needed for the crisis that they're all in? Thanks. So, you know, asking a question there. Let's put one card. Can he do it? Or will it all end in tears? Let's see. One card pull. Are we ready? Okay. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
I can see what I've got. Oh, very
Yes.
interesting. All right, Lena, let's interpret your card.
Look, it doesn't look good.
That does not look good.
For him. He could actually go overboard and end up in jail, or he could have a psychotic episode or something. This is not a card of luminous success.
Yeah, that is, that's worrisome. Lady G?
Well, people may have to depend on each other in this case.
Yeah.
Good sign. And that's what they're doing already. They have to.
Partnership, stuff like that. And I get the Hermit, you know, which isn't really the card of great economic success either. I mean, so really, I think what's going to happen here is that the people are going to have to go within and draw deep within about what's happened, because he said a few things. I know he says he wants to align the economy more with the USA, but I would have thought him saying that he's this radical, you know, whatever, really wants to bring something different. I would have thought he would have went for the BRICS, but he's actually turning that down. But he wants the Falklands back and all of this different kind of stuff.
Nothing connects with the other thing, you know, which is typical.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the Argentines may be reflecting on their decision, and genuinely my heart goes out to them, because they've been in such a desperate situation for so long, and I think they've just gone, we're going to go with the whack job, you know, just
it's a protest vote for sure.
Yeah. Wow. But not looking great there, is it, ladies? Oh, sorry, folks. Sorry, I wish we could have given you more optimistic news, but we just read the cards. Can you believe it, ladies? The time has gone in a flash. We're already over. We'll have to address some of the questions next week and stuff with the American justice system and what have you. I'm sorry for some of those technical difficulties. Please as well, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. It supports the channel and helps us grow. And the link to the ladies' channels are also in the comments. Final thoughts, ladies, before we end it there.
What about you, Lady G?
I just hope things get better for everybody on the planet, you know, move forward step by step.
Yeah.
And I'm just about to do a video too, so that'll be up in an hour or so. So I have to have some more thoughts between now and then.
Yeah. And my closing thing is guys, this is energy. Yeah, this is part of the human development, this psychodrama we're all going through, because it is Pluto in Capricorn. As you know, I've been saying that ad nauseum, but I think people really get it now. Do you see how it's all happening everywhere all at once?
Yes.
Capricorn is the sign of government, rules, regulations. Pluto deals with what? Plutocracies, people trying to concentrate power, using manipulation, control, authoritarianism, and fascism and stuff like that. We see it happening everywhere. So this is a process we need to go through, but let's not forget, there is the alchemy that can happen as well. We can transform the lead into gold, but we have to kind of almost try and rise above the soup and not get drawn too much into the fear and all of the stickiness that all of the media are throwing, really, because, you know, we've got so many people amplifying certain voices, which is making it worse. And this,
I know the mainstream media, particularly in the US, you can't look at any channel without Trump. They're just feeding the beast.
Yeah.
If the segment is going to be critical of him, the point is it's exposure, it's branding.
Yeah, it's branding. And for a malignant narcissist as well, any exposure, it's like blowing air on the fire.
Yeah.
What he needs is his money taken away and him being ignored. And Trump would end in 10 minutes. He would implode in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right, beloveds. Everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Awesome.
Brilliant. Well, we will see you next week, folks, and hopefully we might have some more good news for you. Let's see what happens. But bye for now, and thank you so much for the support, the donation. Happy Sunday, everyone, as well, if you're watching us on Sunday, and you'll see us next week. All right, bye for now. Mwah! Big love.
Ciao.
Ciao.